My headset there as well.
Okay, no problem. Hello, hello, and welcome
Well,
and happy full moon in Pisces, everyone. Because I don't know, because it just came. It's not a tradition, or it's not anything regular that we do, but because I was busy doing something and discussing, that's why it just came. So happy full moon in Pisces. We can say it happy full moon, no matter where it is. Still. And as celebrating also, we can celebrate every day. This is what the way of impeccability's fundamental ideas that celebrations are not limited or restricted to any specifics. We can celebrate differences, we can celebrate abstract, and we can celebrate moreness. And this is what we try to practice every single
Mm.
day. At least
Oh
I
yeah.
can say about myself. I'm just including Celeste as
Oh
somebody.
yeah. Oh yeah. We do.
That
We
This is
do.
this
We
is
do.
what I try to practice every day. Celebration. And by celebration, yes, we have a general idea of celebration. It's all party and it's all like all the good things and everything, like cheerfulness, happiness, joy. Uh, but more than that, it's more of like I had this idea that celebration means it's kind of party. Okay, oh
Mm.
yes, you just highlight all the positives, you just laugh and giggle and all these things. But celebration can be just appreciation.
Yeah.
Just appreciating, just acknowledgement is also a celebration.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can celebrate by just being with them because I really enjoy their company. I enjoy their moreness. I enjoy their awareness. And I can just be there and absorbing and receiving silently. I should not be like, okay, yes, jumping around that, okay, I'm celebrating you. I don't need to do because that was my idea. Of course, not for other people. It was my own lack of awareness, lack of understanding at the time. But acknowledgement now my understanding has evolved too. And now I know that acknowledgement and appreciation is a true celebration.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
we
Mm.
can do this when Sil always mentioned that celebrating differences.
Yes.
It is actually, in other words, saying that celebrating moreness.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
differences, of course, we are all are different, we all are same, and we all are different. But we are all are more.
Mm.
And this is the idea. Whenever we
Mm.
say celebrating difference, it is, in other words, celebrating moreness. Because if we just, because one of our dear friend Norma, she mentioned that she feels like that the emotions are coming like a different type of flowers, different variation, and all their aroma, their scent is coming together and creating a new thing. This is what celebrating difference is. Roses, jasmine, tulips, peonies, marigolds, and whatever, they all are they all have their own aroma, they all have their own scents and perfume and colors and textures. And of course they have distinct differences also. But when they come together, they create a bouquet. But uh, we human, we are learning this a bit slow. Even minerals, even animals, or anything in nature, they are so innately aligned with this idea of celebrating differences. We human are learning it slowly, gradually, but at least we are learning. This is the real thing to focus on. Today I don't know why, but it is this was my thought, and I just shared that in the meantime while Sil was filling with his headset. And now I think we are all ready to do the capital R reading, practice capital R reading of the Biella series. Yesterday's intent was to be aware of, to understand Comelius via Biella's perspective of him,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to use a perspective as a leverage. Like when we have a big, huge boulder to lift, we cannot do this without leverage. This is exactly what I'm doing. I am not keen to deal with Comelius energy directly
Yeah.
because I know that I
Yeah.
feel vulnerable there and I don't want to connect with that purposely,
Yeah.
deliberately. That's why I'm going to, from now on, of course, from yesterday, I am going to use Biella's perspective of him as a leverage, as a lever.
So fantastic.
Be a
So
protector.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Very powerful. Very powerful. All right.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I'm going to make a slight little wonderful digression. So it came right up there on the page, right above the, or right below the live. Yeah. Almost there, almost there. There we go. Okay. I'll show you in a second. I'll show you in a second. So look at some fun things, beautiful things. I'm going to share Norma's beautiful pictures that she posted. Just celebrate Norma. Celebrate Norma. You know, I just love this. Just love this. Look what Norma said. Look what Norma said, Bina. Look what Norma said. Share screen. There we go. Look, Norma out in the forest. Look how gorgeous this is.
Yes. Wow.
See, and would you have guessed Norma's 25? 35?
A beautiful picture, yes.
Isn't that something? It's Norma. It's just where you belong in the woods, Norma. You're like a wood creature, like, you know, from the fables and the stories. I went walking in the woods and there was this wood creature there. This wonderful being, you know, a wooded being, a spirit of the forest. Anyway, I just love that you posted this, Norma. Absolutely love it. I just leave it there. This is just too brilliant, you know. And you didn't say anything. You don't even need to say anything. It speaks volumes. I'm going to pin it to featured, actually, Norma. Yeah. What a fabulous picture. Be there in the woods, in nature, you know. This is part of self-improvement, self-enjoyment, self-awareness, right? It's all part of it. It's all part of it. I love this picture, Norma. I absolutely love it. Love the picture and love what's in the picture. Wow, I'm so pleased you got there to the woods, Norma. I'm so pleased, so pleased, so pleased. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All right. And that's just some beautiful stuff. Bina, did you want to go over your moon text and go over Norma's comments if Norma's in chat?
I'm not understanding. Just copy her message there.
Oh, no. Just a jumping topic here. Do you want to go over Norma's comment on your moon text, and well, then to go over the moon text?
No, but we are. I think that okay. It's good to do the reading.
Well, because it's all right.
Yes.
For whatever reason, I can't turn the volume off. There we go. Hello, Salambina, says Norma. Hello, Norma. Hello, Norma. Hello, Norma. Glad you're here, Norma. Glad you're here. All right, we'll go right there. We'll carry on from where we were yesterday. Where we are. Right, here we were. Right, Comelius is still trying to justify some behaviors within himself. Right? And Biella sees this and she lets it be, but she doesn't also completely not let it go. In other words, because if she doesn't say something, her silence is a tacit approval or tacit agreement. Yeah, if you're not disagreeing, it can be taken as agreement unless you state, well, I'm ambiguous about that or something. So she doesn't want to have that happen either. But by saying it, she gets to respond. And it's difficult sometimes because when people say things in absolutes, it's very hard to not end up disagreeing with them. They don't really give you a choice. So it takes quite a bit of skill to be able to say there's another perspective. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. I'm not looking to be contentious, but I just want to share an additional perspective. That additional perspective might cancel out the absolute statement that somebody has made, and it can be tricky when egos are involved. Right? So Comelius came at it again. Positivity without negativity, as a rule, is fatal to critical thinking, growth, progress, etc. Is fatal. Is a very absolute statement, as a rule, he's saying, not even generally, but as a rule, which means almost always. Now, too general again. The definitions and labeling of positive and negative left unspoken. Too open to inadvertent associations. This is, Biella's perspective, obviously, because she's the main character here. Biella felt fairly certain his adamance on the point served to justify a particular set of derived behaviors. Now, a derived behavior is a behavior that comes because of something. Yes, a derived behavior. It's derived from that. So she doesn't know yet what he is deriving. What she felt certain that he's looking to justify, like I said, some behaviors of his, which he sees as negative, but feels that he doesn't want to give them up, so he needs to justify their validity. See the logic? If you work it backwards, makes sense from Biella's perspective? Vina, you're muted. Vina? Where'd you go?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Yes.
Right.
Connection is unstable. So it was missing. Oh, okay. Have I dropped? No.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Right. I'm just saying, yes, where she does this understanding, he's making this statement, which when you think a bit about it, and he is somebody who thinks about things, it doesn't work. And why not? He needs it. Right. When somebody is stating something quite adamantly, that doesn't add up. That's because they wanted to add up. They needed to add up. Yes. And I was like, well, it doesn't add up when you look at it without any agenda, just objectively. It's like, well, duh. Why are they insisting that it does add up? Yeah, it's like if I go and check the books on somebody's business, I want to buy their business, and I say, yeah, but your figures don't add up. And they say, no, it does. Look, and you do this and that, and they have some justification for why it does add up. I'm not buying that business, correct? See, and people do that. They want to insist, no, it does add up. Now, okay, in business like that with books, it's like, well, don't you see this? And then they have all sorts of long stories as why it's supposed to add up. Of course, it's BS. Now, sometimes people may buy the BS and end up buying a crooked business. All right, whatever, or business that's giving false figures. But when it comes to psychology, people do the same thing, right? They're looking to justify some sort of behavior, and then they say things that seems to, they want it to add up, but it doesn't add up, right? In order to justify that which cannot really be justified. No? Same behavior. So, but she doesn't know yet what it is, this set of the right. Yeah. Look at the sentence from Biella's perspective. Biella felt fairly certain his adamance on the point served to justify a particular set of derived behaviors, right? Behaviors derived from a particular idea, a belief, etc. She's not sure what it is yet, but she'd wait. Yes, appropriate balance, she repeated. Remember Ulysses, the land of the lotus eaters. Brilliant, Comelius said. Biella paid close attention. She wasn't sure what the brilliant referred to, hoping it would be revealed. Everything is good when appropriately used or considered. Yes, she asked. Now look at her skill here. Yeah. He has said that, he made this very clear. Positivity without negativity is fatal to critical thinking, growth, progress, etc. Right? I mean, so as a rule, I just left it out to condense it. He's saying you have to have negativity. You can't have positivity only. Yeah?
Yes.
This is his point. And this lotus eaters, same point. Yes? But
Yes.
right, and she preempts him because she's still responding to the previous comment. She's assuming that she wasn't sure what the brilliant is for, but she assumes that this is a story about only the detriments of too much positivity or only positivity, which it is, right? But she preempts him here, right? Before he even explains, she says, everything is good, all caps good, when appropriately used or considered. And it's that point that we came to yesterday. It's all about the appropriate measurement, right? The appropriate usage, dosage, etc. How we use things, not the things in themselves. But now she's getting into a meta perspective. He's going positive, negative, and she's saying there's a meta perspective that takes that 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 dichotomy, that oppositeness out of it. It's all good when appropriately used, yeah, or considered. And when he first responds, an idyllic place of no pain, all pleasure. And it was immediately clear to the reader what the hell it was. It's just a crazy statement. This people say this perfection would be boring. It's the same logic. If it was boring, then it wouldn't be perfect. If it was idyllic, then there wouldn't be a negative. See, it's inherently self-contradicting. But a lot of people say statements like these. They repeat them all the time. Yeah. Oh no, perfection would be boring. Whatever. It's inherently self-contradicting. Yeah. An idyllic place, but it's immediately a hell. It's not idyllic then. Yeah. Biella was surprised at the statement. Surprised coming from Comelius, not surprised at the statement itself, right? And oft expressed, it doesn't say that, but it's implied that, and often expressed opinion, but it made no sense and was internally contradicting. Internally contradicting in this case is a double meaning here. It's internally contradicting for Comelius, as well as the statement is in its own. You don't have to go from outside, just the sentence itself. It cannot be idyllic and be a hell at the same time. Those are two don't work together. It's not possible. It could not be all pleasure or idyllic if it was a hell, right? Because he also said no pain, all pleasure. It's not possible. But this is a typical position used to justify or explain negativity. It's like people want to say, yeah, but you can't have light if there's no dark. That's not true. Absolutely, utterly untrue. Things, light rooms, they exist in industry. In Silicon Valley, they use them. And they can't have any shadows in the room for various reasons, for experiments and stuff. And the lights come from all angles. So no matter where you are, there's always light, right? So all you're seeing is light. There's no dark, there's no shadow in it. It's just pure light. Why we believe we have to have dark to see light, I don't know. When I look up into the sky, yes, and that's all I'm seeing. I'm just seeing the blue sky. I'm not seeing one single shadow, correct? I don't need dark to see light. Light you see because it's light. You notice it when it's in the midst of shadow. Yes, it helps for contrast, but that's it. It just dark just gives you contrast, but you don't need it to see light. You see light because light is what's reflecting on your eye. Remove the shadow, you still see the light. Yeah. It's a misunderstanding of contrast. I don't need it to see it. You know. All right. It's like saying I need salty or bitter or sour or whatever to taste sugar, sweet. No, I don't. When I eat sweet things, I don't. There's no salt to contrast it. I just enjoy sweet on its own. Yeah. You don't have to have an opposite to perceive something. It's a false logic. But it's the point of that you have to have dark is because when people are going through dark periods, it helps to say to people, oh, but you need it. You need the negative. It makes the positive better or whatever. And it's just a way for them to find a way to accept negativity and not niceness in their lives. In other words, it's there for some good reason, right? There's a good logic to that. Yes, there's often a good reason for it from a learning point of view, but it's not necessary for goodness. You can have all goodness. There's the greater degrees of it, perhaps. Yeah. Like you could eat a diet that's all sweet. You can have very sweet, not so sweet. Yeah. Same with salty. Yeah. So it's false logic, right? But there's a reason for it. Again, see, people do this because they want to justify things. They want to justify the fact that there is negativity in the world. They're looking to find some good reason for it. And typically it's there for our learning, yes, but you don't have to have it. But Comelius had not said it as an example of flawed logic in general. No. He was stating this as his own opinion and belief. She didn't want to debate it with him. Too obviously flawed. Because here's the problem. Look at Biella's skill here. She didn't want to debate it with him. Too obviously flawed. If you debate something that's obviously flawed, that somebody is being adamant about, what's your prognosis? Where is it going? Where is it leading to? Where is it heading? See what I mean? You're not going anywhere because they have a reason why they have this flawed opinion. And, right? And the reason is the thing that's of importance, not the opinion itself. Figure out the reason, and then the opinion is going to change of its own accord. The necessity for that opinion, right? If you are having a flawed opinion that you're stating quite adamantly, there's a reason for it. She just wants to skip this. Furthermore, she can't point out that flawedness because if she does, now he's just going to be looking like a fool. And if that's, with the new nobles, I could say, wow, you know what, hey, Bina, that doesn't make any sense. And you say, oh, let me think about it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Doesn't make any sense. What else am I thinking? Not a problem, right? But with when there's an ego involved that doesn't like to be wrong, you can't prove people wrong. They have to prove themselves wrong, right? You have to see that for himself. When someone is heavily invested in an idea, Biella had found, and it's a flawed idea, debating that idea can be counterproductive. Now she's adding an extra layer of sophistication onto this. Because when you debate a flawed idea, what does the other person do? They start defending it, right? And they start bolstering it, and they start building all the supports for it, right? And they start putting a lot of work into making the thing that was flawed stronger. It just entrenches it, right? See what I mean? Let me just say thanks to Joel real quick here.
Yes.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. Oh, sure. 1 second. Joel's got a question for me. What's happening? Oh, no, tell. If I have them, you're more than welcome to. Yes. Yeah. Let me help. Joel. Okay. 1 second, Joel. 1 second. Joel needs a couple of band-aids. I wonder what he did to himself. Sure, but I don't have any. I do, but where are they? Where are they? Where are they? That's interesting. That's interesting. Come on out of there. Let's see there. Yeah. Oh, in there. I always do keep some. I found them. Found them. Always got to have some band-aids around. Yes. Oh, I need to get some more. All right. Very good. I'm glad I could help, Joel. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, you are, Joel. They do work. Oh no, absolute pleasure. Oh no, man. Yeah, terrible. No, I'm glad I had some. No, absolutely. Don't be sorry. No, I'm glad you asked. Oh, that's why we're here. That's why we're here, man. We've got to help each other. Brilliant. All right, very good. Shame, he's even apologetic for asking. Nice people, good people. They're just too wonderful and brilliant and marvelous, right, Bina? Look at that.
Oh, yes.
He needs a band-aid and he's saying, sorry to bother you. Oh, come on, he ripped his nail, he said, on a box. Yeah. And now he's picking up boxes all day long, Yeah, he ripped it right to the root, he said.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, at least it
Painful, I
wasn't
know.
bleeding. Yeah.
I know it's painful.
Exactly. But, he's apologizing for bothering me to ask for band-aids. No, Joel, we're friends and you
Yeah.
can always ask,
Okay, sir. I'm
So,
going to eat and then I will listen.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just want to make that point. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes.
To make the point before I continue here, that we
Yes.
must understand appropriateness. You're in need. Your asking is appropriate. What would be bothersome, not that I would truly be bothered, but I kind of would be if you didn't ask and I knew about it. That would be stressful to me, right? So when we are friends and when we love people and just in general, just for goodness, realize this for yourself, that when you need, you are doing your friend a favor to ask when you need.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
it's going to upset them if you don't ask when you need. It's a very interesting thought, right? When you need, you need to ask your friends, because then you are treating them as a friend. That's why a friend is there. I mean, it gave me great joy to be able to, that I had bandages for him. I would have been really sorry had I not had. So when I go shopping again, I need to buy. That was my last. I gave him like 10, so that he said, he can wrap it multiple ways and he can keep some in the van. I don't know if he gets to use the same van or not, but anyway. All right. Let's continue. To debate a flawed idea. It's not just that you are looking to with ego, but unfortunately, when people do debate those, then they start adding justifications, adding supports to it, and they start building all this great big structure around it in order to support it. Like if you got a flawed bridge and now suddenly you start filling in underneath the bridge and you're putting supports and all this, right? And you can sort of make it work, but now it's got so much stuff around it, you don't see the flaw anymore. Right? Very difficult. Thank you, Norma. Yeah, if you need, you got to ask. Yeah, you're such a sweet, beautiful person, that Joe and Norma and Bina and me a little bit.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, usually only serving to entrench the idea and build fortifications around it. Much better to let it flow out into the light of awareness. Right. So Biella knows that this point that he's making is like, it's such a flawed thing, but she doesn't come at it directly. She doesn't even say, she said, just gonna let it be there in the light at some point that it's going to start to disappear. It'll fall apart of its own accord. It just needs to have enough light thrown onto it. Yes. Right. Often if the flaw was clearly seen, it implied and typically necessitated a radical change.
Okay,
Right?
I'm eating now and I will
Oh,
listen.
go ahead. What are you eating? Bina? What are you eating?
It's some eggs, boiled eggs and some curry also. I don't know why, but it is.
All right. Very
Yes.
cool.
Okay.
Very cool. All right. I like curry, but as flavoring, not as spicing. So in other words, I like super, super weak curry. It just has a flavor in there. It's nice. I like the taste of curry, but I don't like it burny. Yeah. I don't burny food. I'm just very sensitive to it, I guess. I was eating some tomato sauce, for heaven's sake, and it was making me sweat. I put tomato sauce on my pizza. I know people are groaning and say, "What, tomato sauce on your pizza?" Well, it was a little dry, you see. It's perfect, but it got a bit much on there, and then it was too much. Anyway, it's just amazing to me that ketchup, tomato sauce is spicy. I don't always remember it being spicy, but I never ate it as a kid, actually. Just wasn't something that was around. Yeah, I don't even think we had it in the house often. Not like you go to any American house. It's tomato sauce, ketchup. It's just standard. It's just there. It's always there, right? We may have had it, but it was exceptional. Yeah, just different ways people grow up, I guess. Anyway, the other thing, the problem with these type of flaws, a flawed thinking, a flawed ideology, a flawed belief, right, that somebody is holding. Why? Because it's a justification for something else, right? So it's not a direct point. It's there to serve some other behavior that you want to justify or rationalize. But if that flawed belief is exposed, it then would mean that you're going to have to change whatever you don't want to change, which is why you got the belief, right? So this radical change. So dealing with people's flawed beliefs is problematic. Even if you succeed, they don't want you to succeed because they don't want to make the effort, you see. And she understands this. It implied and typically necessitated a radical change, one that almost always affected the individual's entire life. A big stumbling block involving an acute awareness of being monumentally wrong. There's another problem, right? When you suddenly discover that you've been monumentally wrong, that usually means I got to go and examine everything. I've been monumentally wrong in one thing. I could just as well be monumentally wrong in others. And typically these things work together, right? Well, let's say you built a bridge and you used supporting pillars and they're too weak. And okay, it's not a problem now for the bridge, but the rivers have been diverted and it's not rainy season and the river's not flooding, so it holds the bridge up now. But when the floodwaters come, right, and you discover that you've got one pillar that's in this flimsy material. Oh, okay. Well, I can't just replace that pillar. I got to do all the pillars, you see. So when we discover we're monumentally wrong in one thing, it typically the other things that are also in a similar boat need to go and be changed, right? And it's a big job, in other words. People don't want to make those big jobs. One of the prime reasons why the new nobility made every effort to move away from the entire right-wrong mindset. Yeah, because when somebody feels they've been monumentally wrong, they can't just say, well, all right, I made a mistake on this thing. They say, I'm wrong as an individual. No, I was wrong about something. It's not the same thing as saying, I am wrong. To say, I am wrong, it's like saying, I'm diseased, I'm broken, I'm not working right. See, two different things. Just because you made a mistake and had a false belief doesn't mean that you as an individual are flawed and wrong. Two different things. Very important to understand the distinction. But Biella's understanding of Comelius here, to come at it from Biella's angle, what she is understanding is that for him, he is likely to take being incorrect on a point as a personal point, because he is all about thinking and understanding and having such things right. So for him, it's very integrated. So if she's going to debate this point and prove it's wrong to him, it's going to lead to a big issue, which it does later on. Yeah. Yeah. Because he doesn't double down on this. He when she said yes, but good in appropriate measure, she didn't say but, right? And it's a contrast for it. It's a different point. He doesn't say no, I mean it, and he just lets it go because he realizes, yeah, that's part of it, and it can go. Right. The right-wrong mindset so limiting, leading to exactly these sorts of dead ends. Yeah. When you have this either or, and you double down or you start claiming something is right when it's actually wrong, and you can't be wrong, well, then you're stuck. When you don't care about right and wrong, you just want the understanding. You say, oh, I understood it this way. That was yesterday. Oh, today I have more information and I understand it this way. Ah, brilliant. Tomorrow I'm going to understand it differently once again. See, it doesn't limit me. The right wrong mindset is very limiting. Because when you believe you've got it right, any change to that by implication means you didn't have it right. And now you can say, well, then I have to be wrong. It's just foolishness. It's just an idiotic mindset. The right wrong mindset is not a right mindset. It's a wrong mindset. No, it's just foolishness. Too many assumptions, inflexible. Each and every situation different. Yes, exactly. Right and wrong vary tremendously depending on circumstances. Only appropriateness solved all these problems. To know what was appropriate required awareness and attention or perspective. The new nobility's golden triangle. Time to take a small chance, Biella decided. Now she is going to, the small chance she's taking is that she's going to make a statement which, by implication, is threatening this definitive position that Comelius has taken, right? Because she can't just leave it. She doesn't want to push where it becomes an issue that he's looking to defend, but she wants to give him enough information that he can say, okay, you know what, there's more to it, and that he can let go of that and move somewhere else. She's throwing him a lifeline, in other words. Right? Good is the third force, the meta force. She let out a small laugh, directed more at herself. As much as I see the negative positive reality and its necessity, I don't subscribe to the impossibility of what you just described. How? Just beautiful capital D diplomacy. Yeah. She's saying, yes, I understand negative, positive, at least that perception is rooted in reality, and it has a necessity because it's what makes life easy for people. But just because it's making things easy doesn't mean it's actually accurate. Right? This is always more. And the deeper point sees a bigger picture. Sometimes you do things and it works, but it's not really the bigger issue. It works in a small, limited context. But she says, I don't subscribe to the impossibility of what you just described. Now, the way you expressed it is a contradiction to me. Look at the beauty of what she's saying. She's not saying your point is self-contradicting, which if you say it's self-contradictory, it's like, well, you're talking nonsense. Right? She doesn't even say his point is the contradiction. She's saying the way he expressed it is contradiction to her, only to her. Beautiful, beautiful capital D diplomacy. Very gentle way of coming at. Gives him lots of outs to come at it gently, right? Like, well, okay, let me say it in another way. Say, oh, okay, well, it's a contradiction to me. Well, all right, let's see that, you're different. You're noble. Yes, of course, things are going to be different for you. All right. See, it gives him lots of ways to come at it and gently come and untangle it and unravel it and see where the problem lies, right? Which is the thing that he's justifying, not the point itself. She doesn't really want to debate the point itself. She wants to get to the underlying. But if he keeps stuck in this right, wrong, either or, positive, negative, he doesn't see that it's good in the overall, and he doesn't find the good, and then look, all right, we're going to get there. Yes, everything is good, Comelius agreed. Yeah, and this is wonderful. Now he's saying that in contrast to his other point is there's movement. A square circle, Biella added. Even though Comelius had agreed to the point about good, he'd still not acknowledged the contradiction to himself, right? So these are separate points in his brain to say, yes, everything is good, but you cannot have positivity without negativity, right? There has to be negativity, right? Still stuck in that. He hasn't quite. A square circle is something that we believe exists, but cannot exist in actuality. It's a very powerful thing. Very powerful thing. The only bad is no input, stasis, death. And the only reason we can call that a bad is because we know nothing of it. It's the anti-us, not in our realm. There's a very profound statement from Comelius. And this is the magic of Comelius, that he makes such profound statements. But making a profound statement and applying and living by it, two different things. Yeah. Comelius jumping topic somewhat. His extension not directly connected to the contradiction, only seeming so. Biella backed away as well by saying, backed away as well, because his statement is him backing away from it somewhat, right? We aren't interested in the ideal much because we're not there yet. Wow. You would think of all people that the new nobility would be the ones most interested in the ideal. No, they're interested in the real, in application. And they keep adding to their application. If you keep pursuing an ideal, you know, when you chase things, they tend to run away from you. Yeah. Anybody will, like a hunter, expert hunter will tell you that. Just sit around, wait, sooner or later, everything gonna come by. Much easier to deal with it, right? Yeah. Because they are doing that with application. They're doing what they have, what's on hand. They're using what's there nearby them around. They don't have to chase ideals. They'll get closer to an ideal through application. Yes. But it's the path that is of importance, because the path is application. Doesn't matter if you get to an ideal or not. What happens is, on the path, you're continually improving, growing, learning, making your life more efficient, more functional, more joyful, more blissful, etc. Does it matter if it's ideal or not? No, it doesn't. Very powerful point. It's amazing. Because we're not there yet. And added in a comical tone as if quoting a mythical character. I want to know how to deal with where I am, damn it. He was heard to say deep inside his head, some faraway places of no value to me now. She added, and yes, yeah, Camellia agreed casually, almost letting the aborted chuckle manifest. I love that. Just a beautiful way of saying, somebody you could say stifle the laugh or stifle the chuckle. That's typically when you stifle one, right? You're aborting it, you're cutting it off halfway through, but he nearly let it out. But for some reason, he didn't want to. He didn't want to acknowledge this. Yeah. Because it's a bit serious. A comment here. Right? I mean, she's making it like a quote. I want to know how to deal with where I am, damn it. He was heard to say deep inside his head. Some faraway places of no value to me now. She's making it like a joke, funny thing, like she's remembering a quote from some line from a movie, a book, a TV series, whatever, right? And people do this. They say things like that, right? They bring out these quotes. But what she's saying directly applies to Comelius, which is why he agrees casually, because he's looking to minimize it. But he hears the deeper importance. And that chuckle that got aborted is because at once she's fooling around a bit and it's amusing, but what she says is not amusing in the least. It's very serious. Yeah. I want to know how to deal with where I am, damn it. This is Comelius' conundrum. He sees Nobelia as a faraway place that is of no value to him now. He doesn't realize it's about applications, not about ideals. In his world, it's all about ideals. And Nobelia is an ideal that he never even thought could be an ideal. And his mind is not yet ready to accept that they're not about ideals, but about application. The word nobility automatically starts to make you think of ideals. Oh, just, eye in the sky, fairy people, unrealistic, chasing ideals. No, no. the new nobility as a group, as a society, is an intensely practical society, more so than most societies, because they focus on it so specifically. These aren't people who can't deal with regular life. No, they're intensely practical. These are all people who can do their own plumbing. Because when you focused on application, in the abstract, psychological application, emotional application, spiritual application, your brain and application is the important part of it all, because without application, it's all meaningless. You train your brain to think on how to apply. When it comes to regular, mundane, physical ways of how to apply, your brain's already in application mode to figure out how to fix your plumbing or whatever, any physical application, sewing, you name it, making wax candles, soap, whatever. It's all there because your brain is already in application mode. So that's why the new nobility are so intensely practical and competent. They're not only practical, but also competent because they're training their brains to think in terms of application. So whatever needs doing, they can do. It's not a problem, or they'll figure it out, right? They're not all about just theorizing and speculating. No, that gets you nowhere. And this is an assumption that goes with their society because they focused on moreness. There's this built-in assumption that it doesn't also come with application, because throughout history, unfortunately, that's been the deal. Those involved in ideas and philosophies and theories and religion and whatever, right? And stories and all this. And Comelius' whole world, academia, it's all about the idea and the ideal, not the application. So that's so closely linked that the new nobility have to make a special effort to communicate, hey, we're about practicality, competence, efficiency, effectiveness, doing. Whether it's practical, it's a physical thing or a spiritual thing, we do it, we live it, we do it. Yeah. So good, Biella put in. The sun is beautiful and warm and life-giving precisely because it's burning up, Comelius said. A prelude. Biella thought. Or she could have said to a foreboding or a foreshadowing or a hint at what's to come. Comelius is a beautiful sun, and he's warm and life-giving, but it's also burning up. People say the darndest things about themselves without having a clue that they're doing it. If only Comelius would listen to himself and say, oh, understand that his inner self, his higher self, his deeper self, whatever self, is looking to communicate with the self that's burning up, that's not getting it. That Biella recognizes this. Remember, this is a real-time conversation. It's not contrived. It's not contrived. There's nothing contrived about this. This happened in real time. Right? The only things that I've added here is this in between. But in real time, that was the thought. Oh, you're talking about yourself here, dude. She'd continue exploring the avenues Comelius opened. Right now, he's opening up another avenue to come at himself. Yes, I love that. The new nobility have a beautiful myth about sons who are beings entirely dedicated to pure service. Yeah. Beings, capital beings. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's a very nice myth, very simple myth, really. That's all there is to it, really. Yeah. Comelius goes on to say, titration. their negative aspects, pain, fear, anger, frustration, struggle, etc., are essential. Now he's shifting, see? The trick is finding their optimum amount in the mix, enough that they can do their job of catalyzing the positive aspects, and no more than that. Right? Comelius had returned to this earlier line of thought, but now he'd adjusted. It's a very significant shift to say, first of all, he was saying that you have to have the thing, and then the other thing is essential, the positive and the negative. But now he's saying the optimum amount of mix, enough that they can do their job of catalyzing the positive effects. Now, catalyst is a very particular thing. A catalyst is something that you add to something and it causes a change without it being changed itself. Right? A catalyst, and it's typically just a little bit that you add in and suddenly the thing changes. Yeah. But it doesn't change itself. It's a very unusual thing, a catalyst. Right? But now he's saying, and no more than that. Now he's saying that that the negativity isn't actually negative, it just causes change. And it causes the appropriate amount of change. And no more. Again, he's now reiterating Biella's point of appropriate usage, appropriate amount, yes? Appropriate dosage. It's a different point now. So he's upgraded, right? What he said so adamantly before. If you put the two together, they contrast each other. But good, yeah? He's adjusting. Good, keep at it. Biella thinks inside herself. Oh, that's like an intent, those italics. They have a deepness to them, right? God, keep at it. She's talking to him, but inside her head. Yes, Biella encouraged. The optimum via appropriateness. Yes. Sure, Comelius agreed. But then he adds, and acceptance of our imperfection is essential. It may not be noble of me to be ticked off with Ursula because she's a little bitch, but it is better than believing I am perfect. Where was Ursula in any way whatsoever a little bitch? Nowhere, not even close. And to say he's ticked off with her because of that. Wow, what an impossible statement. I remember the statement at the time. I'm like, holy moly, wow. Wow. And of course, to see it in the depth of it, obviously, but the fact that he even says this about Ursula is a very deep, profound clue as to the deep depths of the turmoil that's going on inside Comelius. That he doesn't hear him saying this, that it's not that he's been mean or nasty, that's okay. Because Biella said, don't hold back, right? But that he can say something that's so obviously incorrect. And often people will disguise what is obviously incorrect in outrageousness or rudeness. Yeah. Because now you're focused on the rudeness of it. You're not focused on whether it's actually true or not. Yeah. As one assumes that if you're going to say this, that you're saying it because it's true. Right? Otherwise, you wouldn't say it because it is rude. See? It's a disguise. It wasn't the rudeness or the meanness of it that's the issue. The issue is that it's so utterly, actually incorrect. Yes? Are you listening, Norma? Are you still here? Why did your one comment disappear? Your hello comment. I don't see it there. That's a bit weird. Let me refresh the page. Oh, I'm not seeing the comments at all. What's going on here? What's going on here? I hope I'm not missing all your comments, Norma. I'm just refreshing and going back to it. I can see the comments. There we go. Where's the sound bar here? Are you there, Norma? There were 2 comments, and now where you said hello, Bina, and I don't see that comment, which is rather weird. Make another comment, please, Norma. Just want to check to see that it's working right. Bina's off eating, so she can't comment. All right, this is a great point here. Now I'll go back to sharing the screen. Well, doesn't matter. I can just talk about it. So yeah, where he says, Comelius says, it may not be noble of me to be ticked off with Ursula because she's a little bitch, but it is better than believing I am perfect. What a convoluted point of understanding about himself. And Biella inside says, here it is. Biella breathed. At last, the nexus of it all. The root conflict disturbing him. That essential justification. And I'm going to come back to this tomorrow because it's a big, big point, right? There's a lot to this. A very deep understanding. Very profound understanding. So I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. Tomorrow we'll do. I'll stop here for today. I'll stop here for today. That's wonderful. Are you there, Norma? Are you there, Norma? Wonderfulness, where are you? All right. Bina, if you can hear me, I'm going to end the live now. So I want to stop on this big point. This little bitch comment of Comelius's. It's such a big comment. It's so incongruous. It's like a neon sign flashing over there. All right. On that, I shall say, I just want to say goodbye, Norma. See if you're still there chatting. But if you are, maybe you're walking around, like you said, you like to work and listen. So fantastic. That's good. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, we'll chat later. And we'll see you on soon, Bina, as well. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yes.
See.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are. I'm just saying bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
I was on this point of this, the most incongruous statement that Comelius makes for 2 reasons, right? Well, the 3 is so much in it. I want to start on that tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sil. And
Pleasure, Bina.
we will continue this tomorrow.
Yes. Bye-bye, Norma.
Okay.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
Norma.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. All right. End meeting for all.